The early morning mist swirled around the lush greenery of the Florida swamps, concealing the black warriors as they planned their attack on the American troops who had invaded their lands. The Negroes had fled from slavery and established thriving settlements that the Americans coveted. The United States government, under the guise of fighting the Seminole Wars, had sent over 1,000 soldiers to annihilate this black nation and enslave their people. But these Negroes were ready for the Americans. They had been training for this moment for years, building up their military tactics and weapons, including deadly poison arrows that struck from afar. The black warriors, with their striking headdresses, face paint, and intricate beadwork, blended into the swampy terrain and emerged like phantoms to attack the enemy. The American soldiers were caught off guard, their advanced weaponry no match for the Negroes' ingenuity and strategy. The black warriors fought fiercely, using their knowledge of the swamplands to outmaneuver the enemy. They lured the American soldiers into traps and then launched surprise attacks, taking out their enemies with deadly accuracy. In one heart-stopping moment, a black warrior launched a poison arrow at an American soldier, striking him in the chest. The soldier convulsed and fell to the ground, writhing in agony. The Negro warriors did not hesitate to finish off the enemy, striking with their spears and clubs, and then disappearing back into the misty swamps. The Americans were stunned by the blacks' ferocity and determination. They had expected a quick victory, but instead, they were facing a formidable foe. The Negro warriors had no intention of losing their freedom and their way of life, and they were willing to fight to the death to protect their people. As the sun began to rise, the battle raged on, the Negro warriors showing no signs of weakness. The Americans, their ranks dwindling, were forced to retreat, defeated by the indomitable spirit and military prowess of the black nation. The Negro people had won a decisive victory, but the war was far from over. They knew that the Americans would not give up so easily, and they were prepared to defend their homeland against any and all aggressors. These Gullah Geechee warriors had proven themselves to be unconquerable, and their spirit would live on in the generations to come. Welcome to the Trap History Channel, where we're taking a deep dive into the history of the Gullah Geechee people of the Sea Islands of South Carolina and Georgia who fled their captors and established numerous prosperous autonomous settlements in Florida that existed for almost 200 years, and the first of 3 successful wars they fought and won against the United States of America during the early 19th century. Today, we will talk about the history of the Gullah Geechee people and their brave fight against enslavement. The history of the Gullah Geechee people is one of the most fascinating stories in African American history. Most films depict the grimmest aspects of African American existence during the Holocaust of enslavement. But today, we will focus on the courageous African men and women who boldly fled their captors, defeated them in war, and thrived in the settlements they established in Florida. The Gullah Geechee people who fought in these wars were an amalgamation of the autochthonous or indigenous black people of the southeastern portion of the United States and Africans forcibly brought to America during the European trade in enslaved Africans. They were the first to be called Seminoles by Europeans/Americans. They defined Seminole to mean a domesticated animal who escapes to a wild existence. During the First Gullah Geechee War, these melanated soldiers, along with the British, even burnt the White House and other governmental buildings to the ground. But who were the Gullah Geechee people? They were a distinct group of African Americans who lived in the Sea Islands off the coast of South Carolina and Georgia. They developed a unique culture and language that blended African and American traditions. Their language, known as Gullah, is still spoken by some of their descendants today. The Gullah Geechee people were known for their resilience and determination. They escaped enslavement by fleeing to Florida, where they established numerous prosperous autonomous settlements. These self-liberated Africans who fled to or were born in these settlements became men and women there, raised children, spoiled their grandchildren and great-grandchildren, and died at ripe old ages in those communities having never been enslaved. But the Gullah Geechee people did not just escape enslavement. They fought and won against the United States government in 3 wars. The first of the 3 Gullah Geechee wars is recorded as occurring from 1817 to 1818. The second war followed from 1835 to 1842, and the third from 1855 to 1858. During each conflict, the Americans were utterly defeated and forced to treaty with these stalwart military geniuses. The Gullah/Geechee Wars were the longest-lasting and most costly wars fought in terms of the loss of military personnel and the money spent than any war the United States engaged in until the Vietnam War. Today's equivalent to the money spent by the United States government to wage war against this melanoid nation is $2,874,901,206.83. Now let's dive deeper into the history and culture of the Gullah/Geechee people. The Gullah/Geechee people are descendants of Africans who were forcibly brought to America during the transatlantic slave trade. They were brought to the coastal areas of South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida to work on rice and indigo plantations. The harsh conditions of slavery led to high mortality rates among the enslaved Africans, which made it difficult for plantation owners to maintain a steady supply of labor. This led to the importation of more enslaved Africans, who brought with them their own languages, cultures, and traditions. Over time, the enslaved Africans in the coastal regions developed their own unique culture and language, which was a blend of African languages, English, and other European languages. This unique language is known as Gullah in South Carolina and Geechee in Georgia and Florida. The Gullah/Geechee language is still spoken by many people in these areas today and is recognized as a distinct Creole language. One of the most fascinating aspects of Gullah/Geechee culture is the way in which they have preserved their African traditions through art, music, and storytelling. Gullah/Geechee people are known for their vibrant quilts, sweetgrass baskets, and intricate wood carvings, which all reflect the influences of African culture. Gullah/Geechee music is also a unique blend of African rhythms and European instruments. The banjo, which is now widely recognized as an African instrument, originated in West Africa and was brought to America by enslaved Africans. Gullah/Geechee music also features call and response singing, which is a tradition that dates back to African religious practices. Another interesting fact about Gullah/Geechee culture is their connection to the sea. Gullah/Geechee people have been fishermen and seafarers for centuries and have developed a deep connection to the ocean. This connection is reflected in their art, music, and stories. Gullah/Geechee people also have a rich culinary tradition that combines African and European influences. Some popular Gullah/Geechee dishes include shrimp and grits, okra soup, and red rice. Many of these dishes have become popular throughout the American South and beyond. In addition to their cultural contributions, the Gullah/Geechee people played a significant role in the fight against slavery. As we mentioned earlier, they established autonomous communities in Florida and fought 3 successful wars against the United States government. These wars were a testament to the bravery and military genius of the Gullah/Geechee people. Despite facing tremendous challenges throughout their history, the Gullah/Geechee people have persevered and continue to maintain their unique culture and traditions. Today, many Gullah/Geechee people work to preserve their heritage and pass it on to future generations. So there you have it, a brief overview of the Gullah/Geechee people and their incredible history and culture. We hope that this video has given you a greater appreciation for the contributions of this remarkable community. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more videos on African American history. And if you're interested in supporting this Trappist story movement, please visit my Patreon. Thank you for watching.